Good evening, folks. We're on the air. Bill, take it away.
Hey, good evening, YouTube Model Builders community. This is Big Bill Graham coming to you live from the YouTube Model Builders live show for January 21st, 2017. Tonight's guest, hold on, I knew, look at that, I screwed up already. Right into the intro, Brian, and I already screwed it up. I had the other thing going, I had the mic going, I was getting feedback. So, hey, once again, let's take two. Hey, welcome to the YouTube Model Builders live show. This is Big Bill Graham coming to you live from the live show, and it's January 21st, 2017. Tonight's guest is Brian, and he's going to be showing his Landsburg and Great Western Railroad. But before we get to Brian, I just want to give you a few announcements in regards to Tuesday, Thursday hangouts. They're on, and the Tuesday hangout has been changed on the time-wise. Anyway, it's moving to 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 p.m. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Thursday night show is remaining the same. Also, we're filling in a slot on January 25th, and we'll be doing an Adreno workshop with Chris Healy of MRL Trains. He'll be doing a beginner's workshop for beginners. He's a beginner, but we'll also have Andy Crawford on. And Barry, will you be in that as well?
No, I'm not involved in that right now, Bill. I'll be involved in the upcoming fine scale build.
Okay, so we're going to have that. That's going to be on January 25th, and that's going to be on the Adreno. It's going to be a build-along show. Like I said in my promo, you guys asked for it, you're getting it. You're getting the camera face down on the desk, and we're going to go and rock and roll with that one. That's it for the Adreno. We'll have more announcements of other shows that we're going to be doing in the near future. But for right now, that's the one. Just remember that the Tuesday night show has been kicked up an hour earlier. This is due to work schedules. And the Thursday night show remains the same. Obviously, the live show will remain the same as well, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Brian. Brian was supposed to have on in December, but unfortunately, due to family commitments on my end, we could not have him on because we got our wires mixed up. But he's here with us tonight. And you were telling me a story in regards to your mother-in-law.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because my mother-in-law lives with us now, and it was, as Bill said, it was the December show, so right before Christmas, I think it was supposed to be like the 19th or something.
Right.
But my layout is in the garage. I have a three bay garage, and it's in one of the single bays, and so the rest of the garage was covered with empty boxes and storage crates and stuff from the Christmas decorations. And she said, "Is that Model Builder show not tonight?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, do you need help cleaning the stuff up in the garage, with all those boxes and everything?" And I said, "No, that's probably not going to be shown on the show. It'll be behind the camera and everything." And she said, "Well, I'm just worried because they're going to have that semi truck out in the street in the back with the satellite dish and all the cameras and the microphones and everything in the garage. Don't you think we should at least clean that up a bit?" And I said, no, it's not like that. It's just me. It's me in a corner of the room. So
Yeah, our budget doesn't fit that. I don't even think
that's right.
Yeah, we can't afford.
Well, not yet. Maybe in a few.
Right, not yet. No big time. But anyway, we're bringing you here tonight, and we want to talk about your layout. It's the Landsburg and Great Western Railroad, correct?
Yeah, Landsburg actually. Instead of Landsbury, Landsburg.
Landsburg. I'm sorry, my fault.
Right.
Yeah, how much I
That's
mentioned?
Close enough.
Close enough. Landsburg and Great Western Railroad. And what is the? This is not the first railroad you've endeavored to build, is it?
No, it's not. It's the third one, I guess. I was going to say it's my third adult layout, but that doesn't sound right. My third layout as an adult that I've had. I guess the first one I started maybe about 11 years ago, and it was in my garage as well. I had a two-car garage then, and it was just a small sort of a 4x7, or sorry, a 6x7, if you can imagine that. And it was on casters, so I could move it around the garage when I wanted to work on it or play with it. You know, I could roll it out into the center and, you know, do what I need to do and roll it back into a corner. And I had it high enough that I could pull one of our cars underneath the layout, just a hood. You know, so it worked out well.
Good idea.
And it was just DC. I hadn't really done anything with trains for, gosh, I don't know, 30 years maybe at that point. You know, as a kid, I had a small HO layout, 4x8. And, but from that point, which was, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old up until about 10 years ago, you know, and of course I'm only 29 now. So, anyway, you know, it's been a while between the last one and the first one, you know, that I did 10 years ago. So, then the second one, we ended up selling that house with the portable layout in it. I took the layout with me to the new house, and I had it in the garage a couple of years, and it was getting to the point where there was a lot of scenery on it, you know, and every time you would move it, since the floor wasn't quite level, you know, things would shift, and it was just not probably the best situation, you know, for a layout with scenery on it. So I was talking to my wife about, you know, probably just getting out of the hobby, and she said, well, you know, why don't you put the layout up in the bonus room upstairs? And I said, well, you know, we had grandkids at that point, and they were fairly young, and I said, I really don't want the grandkids, you know, just coming over there and thinking they can play with the trains, you know, at ages 2 and 5. And I said, what I'd like to do is take a corner of that bonus room and construct a layout room. So I measured out an area which ended up being about 9.5 by 14. So I built a room inside my bonus room that was just for trains. And I thought, you know, this is great because I'm going to die in this house, and I'll let whoever is here after me worry about taking the layout down. So I attached it to the walls, you know, and I had it was built to last, and you know, I could stand on it, and so, you know, going to be there forever. So about 5 years later, we were talking about my mother-in-law. She's 90 years old now. So my wife said, you know, I think it's about time that Mom moves in with us, because we were concerned that, you know, she was getting to the point where she needed at least someone with her most of the time. So we decided,
right.
Well, let's go buy a house that accommodates all three of us, you know, with separate living areas. And I said, okay, what do I do with the layout room? You know, and she said, well, I guess you'll just have to tear that down. I was like,
how cavalier, yeah. How cavalier.
Yeah, just tear that down, you know, I mean, how hard can that be? And so when we started showing the house, I had a sign on the door layout room, you know, the train layout will be gone, you know, by the time you move in. And it was awful, you know, pulling that thing out. And I thought I was going to be able to salvage some of it, but I couldn't. You know, it's just.
Excuse me, Brian. When you were selling the house, no one who was looking to purchase it looked to take the layout as is, as part of the. They wanted
no one did. And I don't know. Maybe it was because the sign was up there, but nobody ever asked if I could leave it. You know, I kind of wish they had, because maybe I could have funded my new layout. You know, if I said, yeah, sure, I'll leave it, you know, for this.
You could always sell it on eBay. I know a friend of mine named Jimmy Dignan. He's owns an old layout of Dave Ferrari's, it's a Pennsy Middle Division layout. He just sold it to a person in China for $35,000.
Wow.
Don't know how they're getting it out of his house. Rumor has it he's got to take the house off the foundation, but somehow I don't believe that.
That's the buyer's problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So, and now, how did we arrive? Now we're here at the house.
Yeah, so we're in the garage, and as we were looking for a house, the only thing I was doing when we were looking was looking for a layout room. I didn't care what the rest of the house was like. You know, as long as I have a furnace, you know, I'm good to go.
Indoor plumbing.
So, you know, we come into the front door of a house, and, you know, I'd head to the garage or head upstairs looking for space, you know, and I'd be back down in about 3 minutes. And my wife said, well, what are you doing? And I said, I'm done. I've seen what I need to see. But luckily this one worked out pretty well.
So how big is this layout?
Yeah, this one is, it's about 10 feet wide and it's 21 feet long.
Oh, nice size.
Okay.
And it's got a center peninsula. So I've actually got a plan here that I could show
Sure.
if that would be of interest. Do that.
Hey, after we take a peek at that, before we start touring around the layout, we can do our giveaways, Bill.
Sure.
Yes.
So this, is that showing up well?
No, it didn't show up yet.
I thought I said share my screen. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, there's me. There we go. There's the layout.
There we go. You can look at yourself there, Barry. Yeah. Anyway, so this was the original plan, and I had this drawn up by John Prescott. I think probably many of you would probably recognize John's name. He does have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know of him.
Hasn't been active too much, but this was actually, I had him draw me a plan when we were still house hunting. And the house, we had found one that I thought we were going to buy, and it had, I think it was like a 12 by 14 room in it. So I had him draw me a plan for that size. And we ended up changing our minds due to inspection there and got this house. So I called him up and had him do me another one. But John was kind of just getting into the track planning mode. So he offered to do this one for me, and for I think some intermountain wheel sets or something. I can't remember what I paid him, but it wasn't much. So anyway, this was the original layout, and so from top to bottom is about 10 feet. Left to right is about 21. The grid lines, if they're showing up on there, are a foot square.
Yeah, they're showing up.
Yeah.
So you can see down at the left end where it says pellet storage, kind of the upper left corner.
Yeah.
The distance between the end of the peninsula and that bridge there is about 18 inches. I'm wider than 18 inches.
No.
So there was, I got the layout and said, John, this isn't going to work for me. So I asked him to shorten it if he could. So he was able to do that, and I'll show you the revised plan here. So he took about, I don't know, maybe a foot off of the length of the peninsula. So now I've got about 2.5 feet there between the end of the peninsula and that bridge. And the bridge is the only thing from the layout in the other house that I was able to salvage. So it's one I had scratch built. I was kind of eager to bring it along and put it in layout somewhere. But you can see there's a ton of yard on this layout. At the bottom, there's I don't know what that is, about six or seven tracks, I think, per yard.
Yeah.
And it's pretty close to 18 feet, I think.
Wow.
On the longest yard track there, and then obviously it shortens up as you go towards the center of the layout. And these are kind of what the buildings and such and industries that John has on here were things I kind of told him that I would like to have. So he just sort of placed them where he thought they should go. And I've been using the plan more as a guide rather than trying to follow it exactly. I had to make a couple of modifications in the bottom right corner. Those radiuses were a little bit, well, I guess that would be radii to be proper. They were a little short, so I had to add a little piece in there so I could bring, increase some of the radius in that area.
Yeah, we had a quick question here, Brian.
Go ahead.
CNL lines says, how wide is the yard track area?
The yard track is probably 24 inches from the word diesel house down to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And those tracks in there are on 2-inch centers in the yard. So, and I've actually got a bunch of rolling stock and locomotives sitting on there right now, which this is the first time I've put anything on those tracks, and it does look like it's going to be wide enough, for trains to go by there without hitting one another. The diesel house is probably the only structure I'm going to have in there. I do have a little bit of a pinch. The normal 3-stall diesel house that you kind of see everyone using, I don't have enough space for there, because I also had to leave myself a little bit more room between the peninsula and the words heavy car shop there, because you can see that's only I don't know, maybe 13, 14 inches there. So I had to narrow the bottom half of the yard a few inches so I could fit through that section as well.
Well, grease always works on the hips.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'd probably come flat to the other side there, come flying out of there. But it's
I'm looking at the top right-hand corner. It says from lower staging. Is this double tracks? I mean, you have a lower track underneath it, so it's just one level.
I don't right now, but there is a plan for a staging yard, and I happen to have that as well to show.
Oh, very good.
So up over here where Bill saw that, where it says from lower staging, there's supposed to be a hole in the layout here. And then back down here, I'm assuming you can see my mouse, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so lower left corner, this is the entrance to the staging. So let me just go grab that for a second. So this would be under the yard, and it's about,
very nice.
It's about 5.5 inches or so, I think, below the surface of the layout. So that would be, it's a little short, up back here on the left, because you'd still be coming downgrade, and probably have to go back past the turnouts on the right, and then back the trains in. So you can see where it says start of grade and end of grade.
Yeah.
The blue dot there. So I haven't decided whether to put this in, and I didn't leave any holes, but I've got room for holes in the layout. So if I find I keep buying too much stuff, I may have to put this in.
And on this, on layout, I was watching you have an intermodal yard. So what's the length? What is the length of the cars that you'll be operating? They won't be standard 40-foot box cars. They'll be a lot longer than that.
Yeah, and I've got. Let me stop sharing here. Just put the camera back on, and I'm going to spin the. I just minimized the Hangout. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So let me just get this out of the way, and we can spin the computer around here. So this is the yard. I don't know if that's showing up very well here.
Yes.
So what I thought tonight I should put some locomotives and stuff out here so it wouldn't be so boring to look at. But I don't know if you can see back here on the outside main, I've got a whole bunch of those auto parts box cars, which are like the 85-foot ones.
Right.
Okay.
And there's, I don't know, 20 of them, I think. And they go around the outside radius here on the peninsula fairly well. And I also super elevated the curves, and we can talk about that in a minute. Once I answer your question, Bill, which was
okay, take your time.
How long are the cars? So here's the intermodal, and I've got there's like 14. There's two trains of 7 cars here, and can you see those right?
Yes.
So there's a turnout here which comes out of the yard back onto the main. And then there's another turnout back here that comes into the yard. And I think I'm going to have to add one more track here. It was designed as a 2-track yard, but I think I'm going to have to add another one because I've got more intermodal cars than that. I think I've got maybe another 7 or 8, so I want to add another track.
So they're all the Gunderson style well cars?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep, all the well cars.
And this is also just to clarify, it's an HO scale cell, correct?
It is HO, yes.
Yeah.
It's HO. And then right here at the end is I have an auto rack unloading area. So there will be 3 tracks right here for auto racks, and then I've got the little unloading thing here, and I've got 2 more of those to assemble. So that's kind of the general plan for the intermodal yard, and there's supposed to be a divider right in here.
Heating divider?
Yeah, a view block to kind of separate the 2 sides. So I may end up moving it that direction, away from me a little bit to accommodate that 3rd track in the intermodal yard.
So what's your era that you're modeling?
Just kind of whatever I want. It's what do I want to run today? I have most of my locomotives are probably 60s, 70s, and 80s. I would say. I've got one AC 4400, which I don't know when those started to come around, but that's probably my most recent era of locomotive. Most everything else is SD40s, SD45s. I've got some GP20s or not 20s, but 30s and 40s and so forth.
Yes, there's that 70s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah. So, and then, well, since we're spinning the computer around.
Brian, before we get, Brian, can you hear me?
So, yes.
Before we do that, we want to do our giveaway thing announcement.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So then we'll get in.
All right, let me bring up our first giveaway here, Bill.
Sure, I got it on the screen.
All right, first giveaway for Long Shadow is up. So we have a 4-pack of HO or N-scale oak and pine trees from Bob Lacey of LongShadowModelTrees.com. Makes some fantastic product. I'm sure everyone would love to have them. And tonight our next giveaway is Dave's Decals. Models, decals, and stuff. You get your choice of 2 sheets. So you can go look at his glorious catalog at www.davart.net. And then coming up is the ever favorite punch plate bridge kit from Central Valley Model Works. It's a 150-foot HO or N scale punch plate bridge from our wonderful folks at Central Valley Model Works, www.cvmw.com. Let's go to the next one here. And next, we have Strikeforce Hobbies back again. You will get your choice of one of the 6 following cars as shown here. So whoever wins can pick one of these great S-scale, on your 1/64 scale cars from Strikeforce Hobbies. And then finally,
we will go back. Remember,
yes,
on this, whoever wins this one, it's only 1 car. It's not all 6. It's only,
yes,
you can only
on
1 car.
This one here. Yes, this one is actually just 1 car. You're right. Okay. And then our next one here is our weatheringsolutions.com, a decal set for weathering your cars. So he's a fairly new supplier for us, and he will certainly take care of whatever kind of graffiti or weathering needs you have.
Yes, this is Weathering Solutions, and they just recently came on. Eddie Bauer, one of the owners of the company, he recently came on. This is thanks to JD through his connection, but he's offering up to any 3 products from our website. And what we'll do is whoever wins this, I will give them your email to Ed, and Ed will get in touch with you, and you can pick from their catalog on Weathering Solutions. Make good stuff. I have their graffiti sheets and some of their rust things that to put on. Very realistic looking, very good stuff.
And not to forget, for this month, we wanted to make a shout out to John Howard of Highways and Byways for him and his road striping kits. They will definitely be coming back as a featured giveaway in future shows. So don't fret, folks. You can still get your striping kits.
Yeah, you guys can actually, help out the vendors here by going onto their websites and actually shopping on them and purchasing anything you might need for your model railroading stuff needs. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
But hey,
Producer there, Bill.
yeah. Sam Hansen wants to know, where do you buy the offload ramps for the auto rack?
The auto racks? Yeah, they are, I found them on eBay, and I'm trying to remember what brand they are. What did I do with the other two? Let me check here. I've got two more. I think they may be A-line, actually.
Yeah, that sounds familiar because they look like. I've seen them before, and I think you're right, Brian.
So,
the A-line, they're good. Those guys are pretty good. I just pulled some cleaning stuff from my.
Here we go. They're in this package. Yeah, they're definitely A-line, and they come yellow. And I repainted this blue here, only because on the other layout I had a Ford auto plant kind of in the background.
Right.
Okay.
So I kind of tried to find something Ford blue. So I guess I'll go with that same color on the other two. But they're definitely A-line. And they come unassembled, but it's fairly simple to put them together. It's just really the railings on the side. Oh, you can see that.
Yeah.
And then there's a plate to glue here, and then these two up here at the end to glue. And then however you want to position it on the supports, you can actually make this so it moves up and down.
Oh, nice.
I'm not that good, so it's staying right there. And I'll probably make the other ones different heights.
Very nice.
Ray Bell wants to know, how high is the main level? What's the height of your?
The layout itself. It's 4 feet to the top of the 2x4, and I've got another inch of foam on top of that. So it's probably 49 inches, I guess, off the floor.
Okay. Now, Brian, we talked earlier, obviously, in preparing for this show. Now, with the layout that was designed for you, and that you obviously, building, is this going to be? Are you going to be doing the typical operations with this, or is this just what?
Yeah, I've never really done operations. I kind of just like to watch trains run.
Right.
I do have a lot of yard and where I can now switch stuff, so I make it into operations. And on the other layout, I had really just one yard that was probably 3 tracks, and a couple of other industries, and I would move cars in and out, but nothing formal, like
Nothing. And you said earlier, it's the error of the railroad is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Where is the railroad itself? The imaginary railroad. What is it what part of the United States is it?
It'd be somewhere west.
Somewhere.
Somewhere west, because a lot of the locomotives I have a bunch of Rio Grande, BNSF, Montana Rail Link, so kind of, if you can, I guess Chicago and west maybe.
Right. Okay.
And it's all flat, so I guess it's the Midwest,
Okay.
right? I have no hills, so it would be that part of the country, and how I decided on the railroads that I like is mainly just kind of from over time, liking, I like the color combination of that, or I used to be a Steeler fan, so Rio Grande, black and it's almost gold.
Right.
So,
I hear you.
I've always liked that, and as a kid growing up, I had the Tyco GP20 Burlington that everyone had, back in the day. So that's kind of, I've always liked Burlington, and kind of went into the BNSF from that point.
So
BNSF.
Is this going to be like sparsely, not, I didn't say scenery, but like models? I know that recently you did a video on the barn, which came out really good, by the way.
Right.
And stuff like that. Is it going to be populated with a lot of buildings and scenery, a lot of scenery and less buildings, or more buildings and less scenery? Or are you going to try?
It's probably going to be more buildings than it is scenery, I would guess.
Right.
Because the layout isn't really very deep. And the main line that's on the outside I think it's like 4 inches from the edge of the layout. so I don't have a whole lot of room, for scenery behind it. I'll probably paint the backdrop, and I think in this corner back behind where I was sitting before, I'm probably going to have one mountain and a tunnel over there. So that's probably going to be the extent of, big scenery, I guess. Yeah, you're mentioning the barn. So this is it here, and it's a laser kit, and it's the first one I'd ever done, wooden, and it comes, and I think it's trying to remember who the barn kit is. It might be Cornerstone, but this little base comes separately. It's a stacked stone base, and then the barn is laser cut, and it came out really well. I got those decals we were talking about on the end here.
Yeah.
Nail pouch decals. So
Where did you get that decal?
yeah, I've got the website for that as well, and I got it on eBay. But there's a fellow there that's got an eBay store. And, his eBay store is called Largemouth Lodge. All one word, Largemouth Lodge, and he has a ton of. Basically, what he does is he takes photographs of old steins, and he creates a decal. So it's actually a photograph of a mail pouch sign from somewhere. And I think these are 2x3, and I got two of them in the package, and I think it was like $3.50 for the decals, and a couple of bucks shipping.
That's not bad.
So it was pretty good, and I want to put a Sea Rock City decal up on the roof here. So that's going to be the next piece of this. But
Now, is the stone base, is that made of plastic or plaster?
it's resin.
Oh, it's
It's a
resin.
resin base. So it's I like it. It came out well. It's like first
Yeah.
woodland I've ever done.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna stick this back here before I drop it.
Now you're talking about the Catastrophe Railroad. That's my day.
Right, you know how that goes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking earlier about super elevation on the curves. I'd seen Derek Glass do that before from his is Keystone Central.
Yeah.
Right.
His
The
channel.
elevated curve.
Yeah, the elevated curves. And what he does is, and I copied this from him because that's what we do. We copy from one another.
Sure. Absolutely.
He takes masking tape, half-inch wide masking tape, which is kind of hard to find. I found some stuff at Walmart that was like 0.7, so a little bit less than 3/4. And what you do once you get your cork laid down is you put the masking tape on the outside half of the cork roadbed. And I think I've got about 6 layers of masking tape. So I start at the beginning of the curve and just lay the tape the whole way around the curve, and then come back and put 5 more layers on it and just build it up. And it ends up probably right dead center between the rails is where the tape starts, and it extends out past the side. So after I'm done and the track is glued down, I just take a hobby knife and slice the outside off and pull it out.
That's an interesting way of doing it.
So yeah, and it's really quick. It takes, I don't know, 10 minutes to do a full circle curve that way.
Wow.
So it's pretty quick. You got to get the track down though immediately, because the tape will pull loose. It's not, it doesn't really adhere well to the cork roadbed, but once the track's glued on it, it's good to go.
What do you use to glue your track down?
Just Elmer's glue. I did the same with the roadbed as well. Just straight Elmer's glue, and spread it out with a putty knife, so it's flat. Lay the cork down, use pins to hold it in place, and then I'll come back with the track, do the same thing, then sheet of Elmer's glue under it, pin it down.
Oh, okay.
And leave it for a day, and come back, pull the pins out, and it's in here. So
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the camera was shaking.
it's pretty steady.
Nice.
So is in doing that elevated curve, have you run trains over it? Have you put power on the track to?
Yeah, and I was testing it, with my, I've got an old Blue Box Athearn engine that's DC that I've been testing it with. But I'll put one of these auto racks on here. And they're between these and the auto parts box cars, they're the longest ones I have. And I don't know, I was going to see if I could show you the lean, but I don't know if I can get the camera right. But take my word for it, it leans to the inside. And these track well around the curves. And I ran this 20-car auto parts train around that curve down there, which is super elevated. And
Whoa, 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 whoa. Crap.
Hey, Johnny. Yeah, the link. No, it disappeared on me, so it just blew out on me. So I'm trying to get Bill and them back in now. Yeah, yeah, we're still streaming, but I gotta get them back in. So all right, I let everybody know we'll be back. All right, bye.
I'm back, Barry.
All right, good, man. I see you, man. I'm just waiting for Bill to get back. There's Bill. Yeah, the hangout just dropped out on me.
Well,
But we got her back. We are back live.
How about that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick that cable.
So Brian, you were saying that you were giving $10 million away, and winner was who? What?
Yeah, I guess we almost had a winner and then it dropped. So I guess
that's unfortunate.
we'll have to do that next time. Maybe.
Not too bad. We'll have to give the winning numbers next month.
If someone pulled out the cable out of the satellite truck out back at Brian's house.
I know that. I think the HOA lady came over and pulled the plug out here because we're not supposed to have satellite dishes in the driveway. But, anyway, so you asked me about whether I was prepared to build this big of a layout. I think that was your question, Bill. On
we'll go with that.
Yeah, it was something like that. Bill probably forgot already. But anyway,
it was the question was. Now it's all coming back to me now. Going back to the previous layout that you built upstairs, has that layout, building that layout, has it have you learned anything? Because you went from the typical garage layout to
Right.
a more refined, built-in, attached to the wall, bigger layout to something of this
Right.
size. What was any learning curve in the transition between each one
Yeah.
of them?
Probably having that garage layout was really the first one I'd ever done much scenery on. So I kind of experimented with some things and found out what not to do on the next layout, as we all do. So I got the second one built, and I was sitting in the layout room one night about to start scenery, and I kind of got that feeling like the dog that chases the bus all the time. I caught the bus, now what do I do with it?
Right.
It's so I decided on that one. It was about 24 to 30 inches deep the whole way around the room. It didn't have a peninsula in it. So I thought, well, I'll just start at the back wall and kind of work my way towards the edge of the layout with scenery. So I started in one corner, and I worked on that till it was done, and I just kind of moved maybe every 3 or 4 feet. I do a 3 or 4 foot section around the layout. And, I think that was probably better because it wasn't so overwhelming. You kind of got focused on, well, I've only got 4 feet I have to worry about, and you can do that. It seemed to work pretty well. So here, it's going to be less scenery, but more structures. So I don't think it'll be as daunting as and I guess, I've done it before, right? This is just twice as big. So it shouldn't be too bad.
Well, I like your analogy of the dog catching the bus and like, what do we do now? Because that seems to be the prevalent theme whenever we talk to people in regards to who've like yourself and Lloyd up in Canada we talked to last month, and others who we know who have big layouts. This would be considered a big layout, and it's always been the ultimate dream of modelers to, first to, have the space, the time, the finances, of course, to do it. But then when they realize their dream and they start building, they say, whoa, what did I just do? So, when the dog catches the bus, it was the same reaction I had, when I built it. I know that when I finished structural build of the layout myself in the South Brooklyn Railroad, and I had laid the track, I stopped and I looked and I was like, what did I get myself into here? Mm-hmm. Because I literally did catch the bus, and I was like, okay, now what do I do?
Right. And I mean, there were days that after I had it, I had the track down, wired it, make sure it ran, as we said before, you got to make sure the track is good. That I'd go up there ready to do something, in an evening, and I'd sit there and I just kind of, look around the room. Well, what do I start first? What's going to be, where's the best place to start that I'm not going to screw something up? And I guess that was the fear was, well, I'm going to do this and screw it up, and this is kind of my ultimate layout. I'm going to have to start over or tear something down, or I'm going to find something that's not right. But luckily it all worked out, and I think, at least for me, that small section at a time method worked out best. I mean, there may be some folks that, heck, I'm just going to scenic the whole basement at one time, if they have a basement layout. But for me, that wasn't the best thing.
Yeah. No, it's a very, it's a simple layout, but yet it has enough on it that if you decided, instead of just, wanting to, just watch your rolling stock, roll around, obviously go around as a rail fanning thing, which there's nothing wrong with at all.
Right.
But it's enough there where if you decided to work in an operational thing, it's quite accommodating for that. So that in itself is a very big, big thing. So it has a lot of flexibility to it, which is good.
Yeah, and I think, we kind of evolve over time, as modelers, and find out that we enjoy things that we didn't know we would enjoy. So maybe I might start with, well, let's see what switching is like, and try that, and I might really enjoy it. And then, well, where else can I put sidings and turnouts and, opportunities for switching? So you never know. I may get into that one day.
Right. What is that? What is it that powers the railroad? What system are you using?
I have an MRC Prodigy Advanced 2 or Advanced Squared, I think it is. And I've got also an 8-watt power supply that adds onto that. So that's enough. I may have to add more, but I'll know when I get it wired up and turn it on for the first time. None of my locomotives have sound. So they're DCC, but none of them are sound.
Well, that'll help you immensely.
So, yeah. And I think the last video I did, I was talking about that. And I said, I hope I didn't lose any subscribers, but to me, when I come out to the layout and I want to run trains, I just kind of enjoy kind of the solitude, and listening to the clickety clack of the trains going around. And to me, sound is annoying to me. So
I think you might be one of the rare breed birds that say that. You probably right now, everybody on the chat is having these little private conversations. They all just said, "Wait, what did he just say? He doesn't like sound? What?
I don't like sound.
He's not alone out there. I mean, I've talked to a fair amount of people that aren't into sound. I mean, I am obviously, but not a lot. Not everybody is.
Yeah, if you are, that's great. I'm happy for you. It's just that I don't like it. So, if we've lost all the viewers tonight, I apologize.
No, we're fine. We lost one viewer.
Yeah.
Barry, let's do the giveaway things again. Okay, let's put it up there.
All right. All right. Let me go over here and grab our first giveaway. All right.
So tonight's first giveaway is a 4-pack of HO or N scale oak and pine trees from Bob Lacey of LongShadowModelTrees.com. Bob makes some fantastic products, and I'm sure the winner will really love them when they get them. And next up, we have decals from Dave's Decals, models, decals, and stuff. You get your choice of 2 sheets from www.davart.net. And Dave has some fantastic decals, all kinds of signage and everything. Then we have the ever popular punch plate bridge kit from Central Valley Model Works Incorporated. It's our HO or N scale 150-foot punch plate bridge kit, as you see in the photograph there, from Central Valley Model Works Incorporated at www.cvmw.com. And then one of our more recent supporters coming in from Strike Force Hobbies. They have their S-Scale Hot Pursuit series here, and the winner will get one of the following 6 police vehicles that you see on the screen. So you get your choice of any one of those 6 vehicles. And our most recent supporter coming on board here is from WeatheringSolutions.com. His name is what's his name again? Eddie Bauer, right? Eddie Bauer, WeatheringSolutions.com. Yeah, so these are all weathering and graffiti decals for your cars. They're very fantastic. I really love the look of what he showed on his website and everything. So hopefully someone wins these, and they get to really enjoy them on their vehicles.
And the cool thing about this is when he sends you these decals, you see that his logo, Weathering Solutions?
Yeah.
Well, they send those little stickers to you. And what I did on mine, I have those backdrop buildings.
Yeah.
I just like slapped one right on the backdrop building so it looks like a factory.
Nice.
I would encourage all of our viewers out there in the community, these guys that give us these giveaways, they do so at their own expense. And it would be nice if you can do whatever you want. I'm just throwing this out there. But it would be really great if you guys, whoever wins, if you have a YouTube channel, it would really be great if you could do an unpacking when you get the box, an unpacking of the product, and just say a little shout out to them, because it's it's important for them. Some of these they're making their livelihood through it. Some of them use it as a part-time thing to fund their own radios, their own railroads and stuff. But just to support them. Because they have over the years have supported us, and it's just a gracious thing to do. Now, before we get back to Brian, I just want to bring up the fact that just want to plug this as much as I can plug this for these guys, because they've been hard on this. The Adreno Workshop is going to be hosted by Chris Healy of MRL Trains. Chris is one of our contributors on the thing on the Hangouts. He's been in most of the Hangouts, and him and Andy and John got together and they wanted to do a thing on the Adreno board, which has a lot of capabilities of lighting, running signals, doing a whole host of things, a lot of platform on it. So he just got into it, and he wants to do it, and he's calling it Buy a Beginner for the Beginners. So if you want to be a part of this, you can purchase a starter kit from Amazon or eBay. On Amazon, the company that sells the starter kit is Elego. It's ELGGO is the name of the company. I guess if you go into the electronics section of Amazon, and they have the starter kit. So you can do that, and you can come and you can ride along and work with them as they do the video. And as I explained in the promo video, if you can't make Wednesday nights because you got bowling, or you got to go get your pedicures, or you get your hair washed, or whatever, you guys get the car oil changed, or whatever, we record these, so they're archived. So if you need to go back, or if you're in the group and you want to go back because you think you missed something, you can always go to YouTube, put in the search YouTube Model Builders, boom, and it will come up. All our videos for the last 2.5 years are on there, so please do that. But the Adreno show is going to be on January 25th. That is next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, p.m. Eastern. And it will be hosted by Chris Healy along with Andy Crawford and a few other guests on the panel that will help you. So please check that out and take advantage of it. Okay, Brian, back to you. I got to tell you, Brian, this is we did Lloyd Heckley's layout up in Canada, and that layout was fantastic. And as I said to you earlier in our warm-up show when we were talking, he's only been in the hobby 2 years. This is like technically the third one, but the biggest one. But yet it is also very impressive. Very impressive railroad. And I love the super elevated curves. I wish I would have. See, I'm kicking myself now because, again, Mr. Baronic, the track planner, said, Bill, don't do any scenery. Put the Prairwood Prairie there. Just run your trains. If you want to change anything, you don't have to worry about ripping scenery up, and you don't have to. I got the scenery down, and I'm like kicking myself because I have two curves in the peninsula track. I mean, and I'd love to have done that super elevated look to it. So
yeah, I'm excited about it. I had thought about it on the other layout, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't in the cards for that one. So I definitely wanted to do it here. So I guess we've shown kind of this side of the layout with the intermodal yard and the other yard behind me. So I'm just going to kind of spin around if this works, Bill.
I took my Dramamine, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm going to go slowly.
Okay.
So, this is the end of the yard here where it comes back. There's a yard lead that's fairly long that, let me angle this down just a bit. So this is the lead that comes right into the turnout right before the bridge here. So there's two mains going across the bridge, and this is my scratch built from the other layout.
Nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So yeah, it's actually made out of I guess it's called hobby plywood. It was 6 inches wide, 36 inches long, and I sandwiched two of them together. And I just got this stuff glued to the outside. This is just balsa wood, and it's actually structurally sound because I had bricks on there, and I know hopefully Derek's not watching because every time I have bricks on my track, he has a heart attack. I actually had stuff between the track and the bricks, so it was a big deal. But I had a double track main there as well, and I think I had about 8 bricks holding the track down on this bridge. So I mean, it's strong. It got really well. So anyway,
you're only running trains over there.
Yeah, but they're 40,000 pounds, per axle, right?
Right. Yes, right.
So there you go.
I think we have to put a disclaimer on that. This is only make-believe weed.
That's right.
Are you going to do a river scene? Are you going to do a river scene under there?
I think I'm going to do something here, yeah. So I'll probably, maybe here where the backdrop is, it's kind of hard when I'm not looking at it. Bring it to here and then maybe go back. And so I'll have a little bit of view, a little bit of depth here. Because from here to the end of the layout is like, I don't know, 2 inches right now.
Okay.
From the bridge to the back. So I may just go back, so I can drop something down there. Put some kind of a river or maybe a gorge or something, in that area.
Yeah, that would look
Then,
nice.
But, yeah, what I was talking about where I just got the barns back here right now, but this would be the area that would have the tunnel in it, right here in the corner.
Uh-huh.
And then spinning around, let me get my beverage out of the way. As we come down here, this is just, double main, and then there's a siding for a passenger station right here at the edge of the layout. So I've got my Amtrak in there right now. And I've always liked the F40PH locomotive. So I got 2 of those. Those are Walther's train line that I'm going to convert to DCC.
Have you seen the new Rapido ones?
Yeah, I don't like the price, but
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
They are pretty neat. So maybe one day, right when I have the funds. But this is my tiny little passenger station right here. But I do have this long siding. So I have this Amtrak passenger train, and I've also got another California Zephyr. So kind of 50s, 60s style, which I have an ABB set of Western Pacific F7s that I use to pull that.
Wow.
So, and they're actually sitting in the yard over there. So from here, from the station on down to those other buildings, which are foam core with, they used to be Radical Flats was the company. Let me go down and grab one of those. I think they're out of business. But what they are there are pictures of actual buildings. And they give you the front and the sides. And then
And that's mounted on a styrene?
just on foam core,
Oh, wow.
Oh, foam?
1/4-inch foam core. You can see the
Oh,
top here, and they're hollow in the back. So you can use them as background buildings if you want. Just use the front and slap it up against the backdrop. But on my other layout, I guess these are salvaged as well. I had more space, so I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. They may become backdrop buildings again, or at least low relief. Since they're just foam core, I can just slice them down and stick them back there.
So where did the images for that come from?
It was the company was called Radical Flats.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
I believe they're out of business now. But
yeah, they went out of business last summer, I believe.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, there are other
Yeah,
companies.
I bought it.
Same thing.
Yeah, I have some stuff from another company.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I bought when they were going out of business. I bought them. They were on sale, and I bought a ton of them. And
Right.
put them on the foam core and just mounted them to the back of the wall. You know what? They're very realistic because when I take photographs of my layout, from track level,
right.
sometimes you look at it and you're like, is that outside? So the very, very good quality stuff that they made. I'm sorry they went out of business.
I know,
Yeah.
maybe because they were selling them so cheap, but there's curtains in the windows, and sometimes they have some
Right.
pressure in them, so it's pretty slick. So I've got 3 of those here, which they may become backdrop buildings at some point. But where they're sitting down there right now, on the plan, it's slated to have a town in there, which I have the buildings that everyone has, for towns, design preservation, the DPM kits.
Oh, right.
Right.
I've got a bunch of those. I may not use the foam ones in there. I may just use the DPM kits in there instead.
Now, is this layout constructed of 1x3s, or do you have these? What's holding it? Holding it up, it looks like 1x3s, but are they 2x4s that go around?
Yeah, it's all 2x4s. Because I can get, here in Tennessee at least, I can get 2x4s that are cheaper than 1x3s. So
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. So I just, Southern Yellow Pine, right? You've heard Bob Vila talk about Southern Yellow Pine for years, and this is where it's from. So I guess maybe that's why it's cheap. But yeah, it's all 2x4, and for the legs, I just took a 2x4 and split them lengthwise on my table saw, so I've got 2x2 legs. And I do need to add some structural support, yet. I wanted to get it wired first before I put any more bracing under it.
Right.
I don't have to be crawling under there, so I don't be whacking my head on structure. But so down at the end of the town, there's another curve down there, and you can see. I hope you can see. There's kind of a shed and a tank sitting down there. That's going to be a lumber yard. That'll be a lumber yard down there. And I've got some track just kind of sitting on the roadbed here, so you can kind of get an idea of where things are going. And then the double main lines come back up here into the peninsula. And way down at the end, there is a propane facility.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
have lumber and propane, and I think my farm is going to go right here. But I don't know, if I'm just switching, maybe this is some big industry with all kinds of sidings. I don't know.
And this is not a prototypical operational layout.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
He just hasn't realized it yet, Bill.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Exactly right.
the more I hear you guys talk, maybe I really do like prototype operations. I don't know.
Next thing you know, he's going to be blocking
You know
trains.
what?
The next thing I'll be liking sound in the locomotives.
Oh my goodness gracious! Look what we've done. Look what
Once that happens, you'll know I've gone over the edge.
I
But
can see what you're talking about. How the outside of that is that where your arm is
Yeah.
That's as close as it gets to and that's very close to the edge.
it's really close because I had to narrow this peninsula because of my girth. So it's right at the edge. So probably what I'll do, I'm going to put fascia on here, so I'll probably have it raised a bit here.
Oh, okay.
And I've also got some plexiglass, which I may run around there as well.
Yeah, you should see me and Bill trying to navigate around the South Brooklyn Railroad layout.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not that big of the aisles, and me and Barry were trying to suck our guts up, but that Weight Watchers, when Weight Watchers says that they have that Weight Watchers ice cream, I found out that you're not supposed to eat all 6 of them at once.
Yeah. Yeah, you get your calorie intake out of one carton of ice cream.
Yeah, what did I know? I mean, they were really good, and it said, non-fat, so, go
right.
for it.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be good.
You've heard of those kitchens that are small, and people say they're just a one-ass kitchen. This is a one-ass layout.
Yeah.
It works. It works for you. It works for you. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Enjoyment.
And this inside main line here that's going around the peninsula, I may have to pull it up. I may have to actually extend this a few inches, make the peninsula wider, because I can run most of the cars around here, but the auto racks and the auto parts box cars and such won't make it around the inside. They come off. So I can run around the outside, but I don't want to be limited to only long cars on the outside main. So anyway, I may have to redo this, but since it's Elmer's glue, I just I'll spray it with water, and I may have to wet like a cloth or something and lay it down on here.
Right.
It will soak through and loosen up, and you can just take a putty knife and run it under and lift it. So
at least salvage the track.
Yeah.
right. And what I could do is I could take maybe this inside main and kind of just connect it to the outside, and then take the outside and connect it to my extension. So I'm hoping I may just end up operations. I could use this inside for operations. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
So there you
See?
go.
Look
I
at
may not have
this.
to tear it up at all.
Convert.
The wheels are turning.
Ladies and gentlemen, a convert to operations live on the YouTube Model Builder Show.
And I don't understand why, Bill, you thought this was a non-operating layout.
I don't know what was coming over me.
But
I think he couldn't read his chicken handwriting on the notes
Yeah.
when we had a meeting.
yeah, I know I told you I was into operations, so I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah. That must have been when the vacuum cleaner was on.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Well, gentlemen, I went onto our website and set our giveaway page to active, and the password for tonight's giveaways is winter, all lowercase. I will put it into our chat right now so everybody has it. That's our password tonight, winter. So you can go in there and sign up for the giveaways while we continue talking with Bill and Brian.
Why don't we just give it one more shot on the giveaways on the splash pages so that everybody knows what they're getting? And
all right, let me run them up right now.
So our first giveaway of the evening is a 4-pack of HO or N-scale oak and pine trees from Bob Lacey at LongShadowsModelTrees.com. Everybody loves these. These are wonderful trees. Bob makes a great product. And next up is Dave's Decals, Models, Decals, and Stuff. Your choice of 2 sheets from his wonderful collection at www.davart.net. And the third one up is our punch plate bridge kit from Central Valley Model Works. It's a 150-foot HO or N-scale punch plate bridge, as you see in the photograph. Everybody loves this bridge model. It's from www.cvmw.com. The next one of our newer supporters here is Strike Force Hobbies and their Hot Pursuit series here. Our winner gets one choice of one of these 6 S-scale, 1/64 scale police vehicles. So anybody would like one, sign up for this giveaway here. And like I said, it's one of the 6 shown. And our final giveaway of the night is from one of our new supporters from weatheringsolutions.com, Mr. Eddie Bauer. You get a choice for the weathering decals or graffiti decals. So these can be used to realistically weather your cars and make them look like what you see in the photographs there. And just a final shout out to one of our other giveaway vendors who will be back in future shows is John Howard from highwaysandbyways.com with his road striping kit. So he will be back in future shows. And there's our giveaways for this evening, folks.
Yeah, there's a question here. I just saw it, John. Strasburg family. He says the Strasburg family, would anyone know any tips for modeling Strasburg Railroad?
Oh, that probably be me. I wonder which. I'll be getting one of that's one of our members.
Okay, because maybe he's maybe you could give him a hint on it.
Yeah, well,
you do this job.
Definitely. If you would like to go to www.strasburgmodelrailroad.com, that's our club. We can tell you all about it. So if you want to reach out there and contact one of us in the club, we'll definitely help you out with it. Even Andy Crawford here, one of our members, he's a big N&W fan, so he would definitely know about the M-Class locomotive. They use number 475, which, as he noted, is available in brass pretty readily. I think it's, if I'm right, it's a Sunset model. So definitely that's one place you can go.
All right, cool. And the pass for the giveaways is winter, all lowercase lettering. So please feel free to jump in there and put your choices up. Remember, only one per person. He knocks out double entries. So please go right ahead. And also want to give make sure that Sparky 107 is doing well. I just read in the comments that he has a pinched nerve or something's wrong with his arm. Sparky, we hope you feel better, brother. Stay well, stay warm. Rest that arm up. Okay? And Brian.
Yes, sir.
How is the family? Do they like this layout? Has any of the neighbors come and seen this?
The neighbors are, they come by when the garage door is up, and they kind of look in here. They're not really sure what it is. Whether I'm like building a room that's elevated or what in the world I'm doing. But I haven't had anybody stop yet. So I'm hoping that maybe in the summertime there are some guys in the neighborhood that are actually into trains. Maybe they'll stop by.
Do you belong to any model railroading club in your community or area?
No, I don't. There are a couple in Nashville. There's one big N scale club, and I think there's one in another town that's close by, which is HO. And I think they're just kind of getting started up, but I haven't really joined any clubs. So this is kind of it for me as far as railroading, just whatever's in the garage. I've never belonged to a club, not to say that I don't want to or wouldn't think of it, but just right now it's not on my radar anymore.
Right.
And I guess maybe you have to have sound in your locomotives to be in a club, right? I don't know. Maybe they won't let me in the door when I tell them that. But
no, I think they're more than welcoming to have you in as a member of their club, Brian. I think you do very good work, excellent modeling work. It's, you're very precise and meticulous, and it shows in your, and it shows. It actually, as they say, it shows in your finished product. There's a lot of passion in it. So yeah. It's a very good layout. Good layout. I like it.
Yeah, and I've got a few more structures and stuff for the intermodal. I've got a couple of cranes, a Calamar crane and a MyJack crane to put together. I've got a couple of things to, let's see if you can. So again, it's not operations, but I've got some grain stuff going on down there. So a couple of grain elevators and a storage shed and some other stuff. But so I've got some buildings to put together there. On the other side, I think I talked about the engine shop that's going to go in there. And I do have a sanding rack and also a fueling rack that's going to go over there. One other thing too, that I'm going to put a program track. You can see right where that sanding rack box is.
Right.
Right underneath that is going to be a program track.
Okay.
It's actually going to be connected to the layout, but it's going to be insulated from the rest of the layout. And I'm going to have a switch in there that I can make it layout or I can make it programming just by, throwing the switch. So I will have, the ability to use it, but also use it for programming as well. So throw the switch one way and it'll be program track, throw it the other way and it's part of the layout. So we'll see how that goes.
But again, just to reiterate, it is not an operational railroad. Exactly.
Yes. It's not operational.
We seem to be getting close to that operation. You keep turning around and go, oh yeah, there's my grain elevator in the back.
And all right, it's operational, and I want.
All right. Wait till you build that staging. You have them big trains come in, then have your yard master block them out. Then you got all the local turns, all those businesses down there.
Yeah. Yep. I talk about my dispatcher station that I'm building over
there. Right down at the end of that peninsula down there, on the other end of the corner.
It's actually going to be elevated above the garage doors, so you'll have to walk up into like a guard tower.
Nice.
Oh my goodness!
I actually went to a club that had that. There's a club in our area. They used to have a third floor of a building in a town, and when you went in there, you had to climb a ladder to get into the tower, because it was like a 20-foot ceiling, and you could stand up in there, and they had all the DC throttles in this tower, and you could see the entire layout from there. And now it's in a small building. They moved, and they did a whole new layout, but it's all DCC. I mean, the guy that did the whole wiring underneath it looks like an electrical professional did it, like an engineer designed it. It's so beautiful.
So yeah, I wish I had some trains running that I could show you, but it's not. I haven't begun to wire it yet, so it's probably a few weeks away before I start that.
Sometimes it's easier to see how the layout is going to come out, or how the layout design process flows. To see a layout like this. So I'm glad we got to see this. So
yeah. So hopefully it's.
Brian, Joe G has a question. He says, on the elevated curve, how thick do you think the tape is that you used? I know you explained it, but I thought if you understand. Heard you.
I'll tell you what it is. If you go to Walmart, everybody has Walmart, right? You go into their painting section. They have a brand, and it's actually called duct tape. It's DUCK tape, and they have masking tape, and it's 0.7 inches wide. I'm not sure on the thickness, but it seems to me like it's standard masking tape thickness.
Oh.
And I just decided to use 6 layers, and it seems to be about right. But I guess you could kind of adjust that as you see fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pleased with it so far, at least the way it seems to work. Just in testing, so it's done well.
And you put down the and you lay it down. You lay it down. You just lay it down.
Yeah,
layered it.
Cork. Right on top of the cork. Yeah. Let me jump around the other side here.
Okay. While you jump around the other side, let me address this issue. Are we having any spare in regards to the police cars and the scale?
Yeah, apparently you only see them if you select N scale. So I have to go back and check how they're set up in there. I made a note that we'll fix that issue. So.
All right. So if they select N scale, then the police car will come up.
Yes.
They'll win that police car. So people in the community, please be aware that if you pick N scale and you want the police car, that's how you'll win the police car, by doing the N scale.
Yes.
This is the first time we've had an N scale situation in the thing, so please be patient in regards to that. This isn't rocket science. It's model railroading.
Yeah.
So, but this back on the tape. This is a roll of it. It's standard, masking tape, and it is. There's a little duck in there. I don't know if that's showing up or not.
No, but
Duct tape.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's regular old masking tape, so it's not thick or anything.
Yeah. Phil Wyman noted that it's 0.003 of an inch thick.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say that, but
Yeah, it was right on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I lost my calipers.
Right. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say 31 thousandths or something, but we'll go with 31 thousandths.
Well, we'll give the giveaways a few more moments, folks, but we have about half of our viewers have signed up. So just let me show you the due to Halloween here.
So you go to the YouTube modelbuilders.com website and you pull down the YouTube Model Builders Live menu. At the bottom, you'll see the giveaway entry form, and fill out your page, and then make sure you put in the password of winter, all lowercase WINTER, and then you'll be put in for our giveaway. So we'll give it another few minutes before we pull the plug
and pick ourselves a winner.
On the elevated track,
right?
If you would, just for my sake, you put the tape down, and how does it curve the tape? Do you cut it?
No, that's why you have to get very thin, thin tape. Like, you can't use a 1-inch tape because it'll start to fold on you as you go around. And also, if you've got very sharp curves, I don't think something as wide as even 0.7 inches is probably going to start to buckle. But you can kind of coax it around the curve, and it will lay flat. You just got to keep a lot of pressure on it as you're laying it down. So
and then you layer it as you go, and then you layer it going out to where you want the track to elevate.
Yeah, it's actually right on top of the strip below it. So what I'll do is I'll just take the tape, and I'll start at the beginning of the curve, and I'll hold it down, and then I'll just pull the tape this way and press it as I go. I'm showing you my technique, and you can't see. So I'll just take it, and I'll do this, and that'll curve, and lay flat. Of course, on top of the rail is not very good, but on the roadbed, it just lays right flat down there. And you just come back and you start again. And as I said, I put 6 layers on here. So what would that be? How thick would that be at 6
Well,
layers?
if it's 6 layers, it'd be about 18 thousandths at maximum thickness.
There you go. So that's exactly what I have, is 18 thousandths on my super elevation.
There you go. And, yeah, like some people said, oh, you can go thicker, but it gets to be too much. You could cause car derailments and everything. So
You can do whatever you want on your layout.
I've seen people use as thick as like .04 styrene shims on the peak of the curve.
Right.
You know, so now did you do 6 layers, the full length of the curve from the start, rather than having the more layers you put, the shorter they become, to taper it in a little bit?
You know, as you said, 18 thousandths, right? So it's not real thick, and it just start putting it all the same level. It doesn't seem to cause it to kink or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. If you do a whole lot, it probably would. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were thick, if you had 20 layers of tape, you'd probably have to stagger it. But with this, it's not that thick. And I guess you could do whatever you want. Like maybe do the first one and come in 4 inches, and start the second one and come in another 4. Just whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, bigger radius, you could probably get away with a slightly higher elevation. What's your outside radius?
Yeah, this is about, I'm thinking 32 out here.
Right, okay.
On this one. And this is about 28 on the inside, because I left more space between them on the curves because of the longer cars that I have. I don't want them smacking up against one another.
Yeah, our buddy Professor Kleiser's noted 40 thousandths is 1 millimeter, which makes sense at the apex of the curve.
And I'm glad he's watching, because that's much more eloquent than I could have been.
Everybody loves Professor. He's a great guy.
That's right. So there you go. In my straightaways, I've got 2 1/4 inch centers, I think, on the straights, and it's about 4 here on the curves.
Oh, okay. Well, you're running big cars, so yeah, that's
Right.
Absolutely.
I didn't want them smacking up against one another.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, Bill, I think we can go ahead and call our winners tonight.
Okay, let's rock and roll.
All right. Picking the winners now. All right, episode 32. Drum roll, please, Mr. Bill. Bing. All right. So tonight, our first giveaway is.
This is for the trees, right?
Yes, that's from Long Shadow Model Trees. That is to Todd Walton. All right, I haven't heard from Todd in a while. Very nice. Our second giveaway is Dave's Decals. It goes to Al Marr. Our third giveaway is our punch plate bridge kit, and let's see who that goes to. Where are you? There it is. That goes to Mark Hachi. Our fourth giveaway is the Hot Pursuit police vehicles from Strikeforce Hobbies, and that goes to Craig Giusto. And then our final giveaway with the new weatheringsolutions.com decals for weathering your cars, and that goes to Greg McCartney. So there we go. There are our winners for this evening.
Who's it go to?
Greg McCartney.
No, the weather solution.
Greg McCartney.
Oh, Greg McCartney.
Yeah. So there are our winners for this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, Brian, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming on the show with us. It was a pleasure having you.
I appreciate it.
Very informative. Nice looking at the Landsburg and Great Western Railroad and HO scale.
Yeah, and that's also the name of my YouTube channel as well, Landsburg and Great Western. So
Beautiful.
It used to be, I never really had an official name for the other layout, so I thought this one should have one, and then I just changed my YouTube channel name to that. So
yeah, it took me a little while to realize what was going on, and but I got it because I'm smart. I've been ahead of the. But anyway, thank you so much for being on the show. Congratulations to all the winners. I'll be in touch with you through email in regards to you can claim your prize, and I need your mailing addresses. And again, Brian, thank you so very, very much for being part of this. Very gracious host, a very gracious guest, and very informative. It was good to have you on. And to my good friend Barry, director extraordinaire, thank you for being a part of this. And,
thank you, Bill.
No problem. And to the community out there, thank you for being a part of this. I want to wish you the best. And this is the first show of the January 2017. So a belated Happy New Year to you all. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you guys on the radio, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks everybody.
All right. Thanks a lot, folks.